It's 1775. The world is on the brink of monumental change. In the heart of Europe, France is simmering with unrest. The streets are filled with whispers of revolution, and the air is thick with anticipation. The common people, tired of their suffering, are beginning to rise against the oppressive regime that has held them down for so long. France is in big trouble. The economy is in shambles, and the gap between the rich and the poor has never been wider. The citizens are desperate, struggling to survive in a society that seems to have forgotten them. Bread lines stretch for blocks, and the once vibrant markets are now filled with the cries of hungry children and the despondent faces of their parents. People are angry because life isn't fair. The taxes are high and the cost of living is unbearable. The common folk are burdened with the weight of supporting a lavish monarchy that shows no signs of empathy or understanding. Protests are becoming more frequent, and the anger of the masses is palpable. They demand change, justice, and a voice in their own governance. The rich folks don't care about the poor. The aristocracy continues to live in opulence, throwing extravagant parties and indulging in luxuries while the common people starve. They are oblivious to the suffering around them, or perhaps they simply choose to ignore it. This stark contrast between the haves and the have-nots fuels the fire of revolution as the people grow more and more resentful of their rulers. Across the water, England seems safe and quiet. The English countryside is serene, and the villages are picturesque. Life appears to be stable and peaceful, a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing in France. But beneath this calm exterior, there are undercurrents of change. The ideas of liberty and equality are beginning to take root, and the people are starting to question the status quo, but big changes are coming to both countries. The winds of revolution do not respect borders, and the echoes of France's struggle are beginning to be heard in England. The world is on the cusp of a new era, one that will be defined by the fight for freedom and justice. The events unfolding in France will have far-reaching consequences, influencing not just their own nation, but the entire world. This is a story about love and sadness, good and bad, during a really important time in history. Amidst the chaos and upheaval, there are personal stories of love, loss and resilience. People find hope in each other, even as the world around them falls apart. These human experiences are what make history come alive, reminding us that even in the darkest times there is light to be found. It's from a famous book, A Tale of Two Cities, by Charles Dickens. This literary masterpiece captures the essence of the era, weaving together the personal and the political in a way that resonates with readers even today. Dickens's portrayal of the French Revolution and its impact on both France and England is both poignant and powerful, offering a window into a world that is both distant and familiar. It's a story that people still love today. The themes of sacrifice, redemption, and the struggle for justice are timeless, speaking to the human condition across the ages. A Tale of Two Cities continues to be a beloved classic, reminding us of the enduring power of literature to illuminate the past and inspire the future. As we reflect on the events of 1775, we are reminded of the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring quest for a better world. Dr. Manette was in a scary French jail for 18 years. The walls of his cell were cold and damp, and the only light came from a small, barred window high above. The days turned into months, and the months into years, as he sat in that dark, lonely place. The sound of distant footsteps and the occasional clanging of metal were his only companions. He often wondered if he would ever see the outside world again, or if he would die in that miserable cell. He was away from his wife and baby daughter. The thought of them was the only thing that kept him going. He would often take out a small, worn photo of his family, looking at it for hours on end. He imagined his wife's gentle touch and his daughter's innocent laughter. These memories were bittersweet, as they brought both comfort and pain. He missed them terribly and longed for the day he could hold them in his arms again. He made shoes to help him stay sane. The repetitive motion of stitching and hammering leather was a small escape from the harsh reality of his imprisonment. Each pair of shoes he crafted was a testament to his resilience and determination to survive. The act of creating something with his hands gave him a sense of purpose and a brief respite from his overwhelming despair. It was a small but significant way to keep his mind occupied and his spirit unbroken. He was very sad when he finally got out. The world outside had changed so much and he felt like a stranger in it. The bustling streets and the faces of people he did not recognize made him feel lost and alone. The joy of freedom was overshadowed by the sorrow of all the years he had lost. He was a man out of time, struggling to find his place in a world that had moved on without him.
18 years. 18 years of sadness and darkness. The weight of those years bore heavily on his shoulders, and the memories of his suffering were etched deeply into his soul. He often found himself lost in thought, reflecting on the hardships he had endured. The pain, the loneliness, and the constant fear had left scars that would never fully heal. But amidst the darkness, there was a glimmer of hope, a faint light that guided him through the darkest of times.
His daughter Lucy grew up in England. She was raised by her loving guardian, who told her stories of her father, keeping his memory alive in her heart. Lucy was a bright and compassionate young woman with a gentle spirit and a kind heart. She often wondered about her father, imagining what he was like and hoping that one day they would be reunited. She had a deep sense of longing and a desire to know the man who had been taken from her so long ago. She didn't know what happened to her dad. The details of his imprisonment were kept from her, and she was left with many unanswered questions. She often felt a sense of confusion and frustration, not knowing the full story of her father's past. Despite this, she held on to the hope that one day she would learn the truth and be able to understand the man who had been such an important part of her life, even in his absence.
Father, I'm here. I won't leave you again. Lucy's words were filled with love and reassurance as she held her father close. She could see the pain and sorrow in his eyes, but she also saw a glimmer of hope. She promised herself that she would do everything in her power to help him heal and find happiness again. Her presence was a source of comfort and strength for Dr. Manette, and he began to feel a sense of peace that he had not known in many years.
Lucy and her dad finally see each other again in London. The moment was filled with emotion as they embraced for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Tears streamed down their faces and they held each other tightly, not wanting to let go. The bustling city around them seemed to fade away as they were lost in their own world. It was a moment of pure joy and relief as they were finally reunited after so many years of separation and heartache. Lucy takes care of him and he starts to feel better. She tended to his every need, providing him with the love and care he had been deprived of for so long. Her gentle touch and soothing words helped to heal the wounds of his past. Slowly but surely, Dr. Manette began to regain his strength and his spirit. The bond between father and daughter grew stronger with each passing day, and they found solace in each other's company. He learns to be happy again. With Lucy by his side, Dr. Manette discovered a new sense of purpose and joy in life. The darkness of his past began to fade, replaced by the light of his daughter's love. He found happiness in the simple moments they shared together, and he began to look forward to the future with hope and optimism. The journey had been long and arduous, but in the end it was the love and resilience of a father and daughter that brought them back to the light. Lucy Manette is a beacon of kindness and compassion in the bustling city of London. Her gentle nature and unwavering empathy touch the lives of everyone she meets. Whether she is helping a neighbor in need or simply offering a warm smile to a stranger, Lucy's presence brings light to even the darkest corners of the city. Her kindness is not just a fleeting gesture, it is a fundamental part of who she is, and it radiates from her in everything she does. Among those who are captivated by Lucy's light are 2 very different men. Each man in his own way finds himself drawn to her, unable to resist the pull of her gentle spirit. These 2 men, though vastly different in character and circumstance, share a common bond in their love for Lucy. Their hearts beat with a fervent desire to be near her, to bask in the warmth of her kindness, and to win her love. The first of these men is Charles Darnay, a nobleman of French descent. Charles is a man of integrity and honor who has chosen to leave behind the corrupt aristocracy of his homeland in search of a better life. His noble appearance and gentle demeanor make him a fitting match for Lucy, and he is deeply in love with her. Charles sees in Lucy a kindred spirit, someone who shares his values and his desire to make the world a better place. The second man is Sidney Carton, a brilliant but troubled lawyer. Sidney is a man of great intellect and potential, but he is haunted by his past and struggles with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Despite his outward appearance of confidence, Sydney is deeply unhappy and feels that he is unworthy of love. Yet when he meets Lucy, something within him begins to change. Her kindness and compassion awaken a longing in him to be a better man, to rise above his past and become someone worthy of her love. Both Charles and Sydney see the goodness in Lucy, and they are inspired by her in different ways. For Charles, Lucy represents hope and a new beginning. For Sydney, she is a beacon of light in his otherwise dark world. They both admire her deeply, and their love for her becomes a driving force in their lives.
Lucy, loving you makes me want to be a better person. Your kindness and compassion have shown me that there is goodness in the world, and I want to be a part of that goodness. I want to be someone who is worthy of your love, someone who can stand by your side and support you in all that you do.
She's like a light I can't touch, a beacon of hope and goodness that seems just out of reach. But even though I may never be able to hold her, I am drawn to her light. It gives me strength and inspires me to be a better person, even if she never knows the impact she has had on my life. I still want to be near her, to feel the warmth of her presence and to be inspired by her goodness. Even if I can never be with her, just being close to her is enough to give my life meaning and purpose.
In the end, it is Charles who wins Lucy's heart, and they are married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by friends and family. Their love is a testament to the power of kindness and compassion, and it serves as a beacon of hope for all who know them.
Charles, I love you. You have shown me what it means to be truly loved and cherished, and I am grateful for every moment we share together. Our love is a gift, and I will treasure it always.
Sydney also loves Lucy, but his love is tinged with sadness. He knows that he can never be with her, and this knowledge weighs heavily on his heart. Yet despite his sorrow, Sydney's love for Lucy remains pure and selfless. He wants nothing more than for her to be happy, even if that means he must suffer in silence. Sydney is sad because he thinks she'll never love him back. He believes that he is unworthy of her love, and this belief fills him with a deep sense of despair. Yet, even in his darkest moments, Sydney finds solace in the knowledge that Lucy is happy and loved. Her happiness is enough to give him the strength to carry on, even if he must do so alone.
I would do anything for her, even if it means sacrificing my own happiness. Her well-being is more important to me than anything else, and I would gladly give up everything I have to ensure that she is safe and happy. Even though she'll never know the depth of my love for her, I will continue to love her from afar. Her light will always guide me, and I will always be grateful for the time I have spent in her presence.
The French Revolution starts, people are angry and things get violent. Dr. Manette's old jail is destroyed, but good people get hurt too.
I had to go back to Paris to help, but they put me in jail. They think I did bad things even though I didn't. Being a nobleman is causing me trouble again.
Darnay doesn't know what will happen to him. Lucy finds out Charles is in jail. She's very upset.
I have to save my husband. I'm going to Paris with my father. We love Charles very much.
Some people in Paris are nice to us because Lucy loves Charles so much and because I was in jail for so long.
Will Darnay be okay?